I'm looking to solve two problems today. Problem number one. I have so many fabric scraps. And I'm trying not to buy so much fabric, and I'm trying to work through my scraps, but it is so hard. I have so much. So I'm looking for a project today to get rid of some. Problem number two. I was sitting on the floor yesterday playing with Marco, our dog, and my pajama pants got caught on the floor and gave me a little tail. So I'm going to try to fix these, but I also want to use my fabric scraps to make a pair of pajama shorts. I'm thinking more color blocking than quilted pieces. So I'm hoping to find larger pieces of fabric and make more of a color blocking than like little patchy pieces. I might add a back pocket. I'm thinking about scalloped detail at the bottom, depending on how much fabric I have. And I also would like to make a matching t-shirt type thing to make a little set. So let's go check out my fabric scraps. Okay, to the fabric stash. This whole bin is full of fabric. I want to go through and find smaller pieces of fabric because if I have enough fabric to make a shirt, I don't want to take that away from that fabric piece. And I want to use up some of my smaller pieces. So I'm looking for pieces that are big enough to make a full leg or maybe a trim piece, but not small scrappy pieces of fabric. Okay, I think I was able to find a good amount of scraps. Some are different weights. I tried to grab mostly cotton and mostly kind of pastel-y. Love this fabric. And I think this could be like a nice tie together. I also have some gold. That might be a nice accent. We'll see. Okay, so now that I have my fabric pile, I'm gonna iron and kind of play around with placement. Oh, let me show you the pattern that I'm gonna be using. So I keep my patterns in a little envelope with the name of the pattern, who made it, and then a little sketch so I remember what it looks like. So I'm going to be using the Linda Pant by Mood Society. They're free patterns. This might look familiar because I made a video of a easy summer pant. If you want to check that out. For that video, I widened the leg of the Linda pant. So I made my own pattern piece with wider legs. This has a nice pocket that hangs from the waistband, so I really like that. So I'm going to use this as my pattern, and I'm just going to make it a short length instead of the whole pant. I find ironing and videos of ironing very satisfying, so I included a lot of footage of me ironing my fabric scraps. So if you don't find this as satisfying as I do, please feel free to skip ahead. This has been like a walk down memory lane for me. I'm using some of like my very first fabrics that I bought. So I have this big floral pattern, this blue splotchy pattern, this like colorful checkered pattern that I love, and then this gold, more like silky rayon fabric. Oh, iron pieces underneath here. This little gold silky fabric. I think I'm going to use this for the bottom trim, for that little scalloped edge that I talked about. We have a lot of patterns happening here. This one kind of stands out. That's kind of why I'm doing pajama shorts, because if they don't turn out amazing, I can just wear them around the house and they're still useful. And if they come out really cute, I can go outside in them and no one will know they were supposed to be for sleeping. So I'm going to lay the fabric on top of the pattern pieces to figure out the best way to connect the fabric and use the best parts of the pattern for each piece. Yeah. To start putting these pattern pieces together, I sewed the front of the legs to each other. and then the back pieces together. Then I sewed the side seams together.
No.
And starting in the middle, I sewed down one inseam and then the second inseam. Then I folded the top over twice to make the waistband and made a stitch along that edge, leaving about a 2-inch wide section where I would insert my elastic.
No.
To insert my elastic, I clipped one edge to the inside of my shorts to make sure it wouldn't get twisted or pulled through. And then I used my little bobbin tool to pull the elastic all the way through. Once I got the end pulled all the way through, I used a zigzag stitch to connect the two ends of the elastic together. Then I sewed that opening closed. Okay, it's a few days later and it is 100 degrees outside and we're gonna continue to make these shorts. So while I was trying to figure out the length that I wanted them, I cuffed them and loved the way this white, lighter hem looked. So I am going to cuff them. I was going to do a scallop detail at the bottom, but I think it's just a little too busy with all the fabric. And then to add that detail, it would just be too busy. So I like this look. I'm going to trim kind of the extra fabric off. Hem, cuff, and then just stitch in the seams to have the cuff stay. they're done. I think they're really fun. The more I look at them, the more they grow on me. Where at first I was like, thank goodness I made these pajama pants or pajama shorts, because, you know, they're a little crazy. But the more I look at them, I'm like, maybe out in the yard, walks with Marco, I'll totally wear these. I might do a matching top with Scraps, maybe in the future. But for now, happy with these. I keep going like this for pockets. I didn't do pockets because they're pajama shorts, but I miss a pocket when I don't have one. And the only other thing I would do differently is finish the edges of the scrap before sewing it together. Because I was thinking about how I was going to finish the edges, and I ended up leaving them unfinished, which is not what you're supposed to do in sewing. But I figured because they were pajama shorts, they wouldn't get that much use, and I didn't really want to show the overlocked edge. You know what I also could have done is use French seams, and then they would look really neat on the inside too. So that's something to consider for next time. This was just an experiment. Happy with how they came out, and I hope you enjoyed watching, following along. And if you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on another sewing adventure. Bye!